Hey, welcome back to another video. I know I haven't made a video about cinematography or videography in a while, but here I am. If you've watched any of my previous videos, then you know that I'm very passionate about videography, cinematography, and I mainly shoot promos and campaigns for clothing brands. Like my main target clientele is clothing brands. But in this video, I'm just going to talk about 5 things that I learned in my first clothing brand shoot that I did. And yeah, this video is mainly for my introverts, because I feel like a lot of creatives can be introverts sometimes. And yeah, like not every art form you can just do by yourself. Some actually require you to be around people. And yeah, videography is one of them. But yeah, I remember like before my first ever shoot, obviously I was very excited for it. Like when I first got the confirmation and the deposit dropped and it was like, yeah, we've got a set date. Like in that moment, I was very excited. I was like, yeah, like, you know, finally I'm gonna do this type of thing. And then obviously as we got closer to the date, I started thinking more like, oh damn, like I actually have a shoot that I have to go to, that I have to plan and that I have to execute well. So obviously I started having all these thoughts in my head. Like the main one that I had was actually about people. Like I thought, bruh, I'm gonna have to go to the shoot, and what if it's awkward? Like what if there's bare awkward silences? Because it was a shoot with like multiple locations. So we would have had to have been shooting from one location and then traveling together to another location. I think we went to like 3 locations. But anyways, for me, it was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure about this. And I'll be real, I was proper thinking, I really hope it's not awkward, or like, I really hope I get along with these people type of thing. And you know what? Yeah, I'm not even like a super awkward person like that. Like I can talk to people, like I know how to, you know what I'm saying, maneuver myself. But it's just the actual thinking or like the time before that it's like, yo, I'm actually worried about this. But yeah, when we got to the shoot and the location, it was actually proper chill. I think they were kind of nervous as well. I think we were both nervous because they had never seen me before, like known me from anywhere. They just seen my videos online and they liked what they saw, so they reached out to me type of thing, but we'd never actually met or known each other from anywhere. And the models were a little bit nervous as well. But you know what, it's kind of weird because after that initial, like, you know, introduction bit, when we actually started doing it and when we actually got to shooting, it was actually very smooth. And it was like we clicked. Like as soon as the shooting started and the ideas started bouncing, I felt comfortable, like I was in a zone. And I think they were as well, to be honest, because I didn't feel like any awkwardness from them. It felt like they could talk to me just fine and I could talk to them just fine as well. And like I said, it was very smooth, which was very far from what I was expecting. And you know what I realized, yeah, is that when people come together to do something that they're both passionate about and to work together on something, that level of awkwardness just goes away. Like it's like an icebreaker. Like, yeah, we didn't need to do any activities beforehand, any sort of icebreakers. The icebreaker itself was actually beginning to shoot and like brainstorming and bouncing ideas. That was the icebreaker. Because I could tell they were passionate about their brand and they wanted their vision to come to light, and their vision that I proposed as well. Like they liked my ideas and they wanted it to come out the best way that it could. And obviously I'm passionate about making videos. So for me, I was putting in my all, they were putting in their all, the models were putting in their all as well. And it was like a perfect free-flowing system. So if you're worried about going to a shoot and you're thinking, am I gonna like these people? Are they gonna like me? Is it gonna be awkward? Are we gonna make small talk? Trust me, that's the least of your worries. Once you get to the location and you actually start shooting, it all literally goes away like that. I don't know how else to put it, but it's like if you've played football before, like it's like when you're, I don't know, like a teenager, you go to the park, there's other kids playing in the playground already, and before you actually join in, you kind of feel awkward, you feel shy. But when you've actually joined and you start playing with them, all of that goes away. Like you're just focused on having fun. You're focused on scoring, doing whatever. That's literally how it felt. So yeah, trust me, don't ever let that stop you from going to that shoot. Just take the first step and worry about the rest later. Like the rest, just don't even think about it right now. Just worry about it later. Just get yourself physically to the location, and then if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes great, it goes great. But the important thing is that you actually get there. So yeah, don't sabotage yourself. The second thing that I will say is that don't be afraid to like challenge their ideas, challenge their methods. Yes, it is their brand, but at the same time, they've hired you for a reason. You're the expert. You're more likely to know if something's going to work or not than they would, because obviously you know the camera, you know the lighting, you know the location if you've done location scouting before. So if they say something and you know that it's not going to work, or you know it's not going to look great, don't be afraid to just say, guys, I don't think that's going to work. As long as you explain why and you're confident in what you're saying, trust me, they will understand, because obviously they want the vision to come out as best as it can, and they've hired you as the expert, so they're going to be trusting your words. As long as, like I said, you're confident in what you're saying and you explain yourself, like you explain the reasons why you believe doing it that way would be a better option than doing it the way that they're saying. But obviously be flexible at the same time as well. Don't just say no all the time. Like if they do make a request or they bring up an idea, actually listen to that idea and explore it and see if it will work. That's literally what I did. Whenever they would sort of bring up an idea, let's say initially I didn't really think it was a good idea, or I didn't really agree with it, I wouldn't just say, nah, that's a bad idea. I would say, okay, explain a bit more, like how would you execute it, and how would you do this, how would you do that? And then obviously they'll build on it, and as they're building on it, what I realized would happen is I might not necessarily go with the idea, because like I mentioned, I didn't feel it was an idea that would work well. But as they're building on it, I do find something, or like I do find like a compromise in the way in which I can also bring their idea into the video as well. Like it's all about being flexible. You don't necessarily have to do everything the way that you've planned it, and the way that you've storyboarded it, and the way that you've scripted it. Because obviously, yeah, I went there with a storyboard, with a script, everything already done. However, I still allowed room for like changes and for them to put their input into the video as well. Because yeah, it's literally a collaborative effort. Like you want them to feel involved as well. So yeah, be flexible, but obviously don't just agree to something that you know it's not going to work. It wouldn't be right for you, and it also wouldn't be right for them as well. The third thing I will say is that you have to believe in your worth and believe in your abilities. I did find myself like sometimes not going for an idea because I felt like, ooh, that's a bit complicated, or like, will I actually be able to do something like that? But at that shoot, I decided, you know what? I'm going to try and do the best thing that I can do. Best ideas, the best everything. That's what I'm going to aim for. Because that's the thing, if you don't try it, you're never going to grow from it. You're never going to be able to do that kind of thing unless you actually give it a try. And yeah, that's what I did, and it worked out pretty well for me. And it also did a lot for like my confidence. Because I remember it was 5 videos that I was shooting that day, and the first one was the most complicated one. And after we got through that first one, and I knew I got the right shots, like I literally just knew it, I thought, rah, like I can really do this. I was literally on top of the world. And from then, my confidence just literally went high up. It skyrocketed. And I actually saw myself as an expert in what I do. Like I felt like, yeah, I'm here for a reason. They chose me because they liked the stuff that I was already making. So all I had to do was just keep making what I make and just believe in myself and believe that I'm doing great things. Because yeah, they believed it clearly, otherwise they wouldn't have shouted me. The fourth thing that I will say, especially for the introverts, is to just be yourself, man. Like if it clicks, it clicks. Just don't try to be anything other than you. Don't try to act like something that you're not. Just be real. There's literally no need to be anybody other than yourself. And this isn't from my first shoot, but I've been on other shoots where there's like another, maybe a videographer or like a photographer, and I can kind of feel the energy is like, I don't know, they're not being themselves, or they're trying to impress. And I remember back then as well, I was a complete beginner and they didn't know what kind of skills I had or whatever. They just knew I had a camera. But I'm thinking, yo, this person is here trying to tell me all these things that I didn't ask, to be fair, but they're here trying to tell me all these things that they've done. And obviously I don't mind that. I'd rather be around people who have done a lot more than me or who are better than me, because obviously then I could learn from them. But sometimes you can kind of feel with some people it's performative. Like, you know, when someone says, oh, like, you know, I've done this with this, that, you just kind of feel that energy like, I don't know, but your energy's kind of off type of thing. That's what I felt. So yeah, don't be that guy. Just be yourself. Let the work speak for itself, and just be cool, man. Literally, like, just be cool. Everyone likes a cool person. If you don't like a cool person, something's wrong with you. So just be cool. Okay, so the last thing I will say is make connections, man. Connections are actually very, very important. So just make those connections. Don't be afraid to be the person that approaches first and says, oh, like, let me get your Instagram type of thing. And don't be afraid to be the first person to start a conversation and to try to connect with somebody. Because I feel like that's a big problem with creatives. I always see people complaining about how, oh, creatives are stush, they're this, they're that. They're not trying to make connections, they're antisocial. But I feel like, I feel like everyone's just waiting for somebody to make the first move. And I've been there, to be fair, especially as an introvert. You don't necessarily always make the first move. So maybe there's been times where people have looked at me and thought, wow, that guy is stush, or like that guy is so antisocial. But it's not that. I'm just literally, you know what I'm saying, waiting for someone else to do it. So don't be that guy. Don't do that. Because yeah, all these connections, they might actually benefit you in the future. I remember one model who I exchanged socials with, and this time I made the first move. He came to one of my clothing brands shoots, and yeah, this time I made the step to approach him first, and he was nothing like I thought he was. He was actually a pretty cool, pretty chill guy. And I didn't know that until I actually spoke to him. But before that, I also thought, yeah, that guy's a little bit stush. So yeah. And then yeah, I ended up working with that guy on other shoots as well. So like I said, you never know where those connections will bring you. So definitely make connections. But yeah, I didn't think the video would have been this long. But if you've watched up until this point, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found some value in it. And if you're going to your first or your second shoot or whatever, good luck. It's going to be fine. And yeah, leave a like, comment and subscribe.